Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. This weekend is the Pride Festival of Central Pennsylvania, and Market Square will have a booth there. I hope you know that by now. You have a long history of doing that and a long history of thinking about inclusion and equity for LGBTQ people. The mission statement of the Central Pennsylvania Pride Festival is this: to increase positive visibility of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender community of Central Pennsylvania by providing opportunities to express and celebrate diverse perspectives, emphasizing acceptance of all individuals, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. And I hope you also hear in that the overlap between our own mission statement and this mission statement. The Pride Festival of Central Pennsylvania has been going on for about 31 years now. I think this is the 31st anniversary, so I'm going to guess that their mission statement came first. Nonetheless, I appreciate the overlap between theirs and ours, and that this is a supportive and affirming and open community. I'm really glad to be a part of a community of faith that is like that. As the Pride Festival is approaching, I also listened this morning to a podcast called The Daily. And in this particular podcast was reflecting on a Supreme Court case in which the court ruled that a web designer did not have to design a website for a same-gender couple. It was a website to celebrate and give information about their marriage, and her religious faith, she said, prevented her from doing that. So I'm in a quandary about this court case. The Daily podcast explains the case really well and explains the nuances of the ruling. And no matter what the nuances were, the interviewers acknowledge in their conversation with one another that anti-discrimination laws took a hit in this case, and that in a, quote, clash between a woman's religious faith and gay rights, that religion comes out ahead. And again, I said I'm in a quandary about the case because I want to see our government have the ability to uphold anti-discrimination laws, especially when it comes to race or sexual orientation or gender expression. And I also, as a person of faith, do not necessarily want the government telling me what I must do, even if my faith tells me otherwise. And that question of religious liberty versus inclusion of all peoples is an ongoing question for our society. I have two choices, I think, when I think about this. I can just get angry at the ruling, and I am angry about the ruling, but even more so, I mourn that there are still religious people who cannot see their way to understanding that same-gender love is okay in God's keeping, and that the Bible doesn't say the things that we have been taught it says. And as people of faith, I think that our even more important battle than advocating in the public sphere for the government to uphold anti-discrimination laws, that's important, but our even more important battle is to be people who are equipped to have difficult conversations that might actually lead to changing hearts and minds. And those difficult conversations necessitate that we are very clear on our biblical understanding, that we have knowledge about the passages in the Bible that are often used to discriminate against LGBTQ people, and that we have an understanding of their context and how they have been only recently read to discriminate, and how questions are being asked of those Bible passages that were never part of the original intent of the authors of the Bible. If you're interested in doing any more thinking about that, there's a really good book written by Jack Rogers. He was the moderator of the 213th General Assembly, and he wrote a book called Jesus, the Bible, and Homosexuality. In that book, he traces his own journey of understanding, of moving from someone who would have agreed with Laurie Smith that LGBTQ relationships are not in keeping with God's will for us as human beings, to a person who understands that LGBTQ relationships are perfectly in keeping with God's will for us as human beings. So here's the book, Jesus, the Bible, and Homosexuality. And again, I encourage us to be people who are willing to try to change hearts and minds as much as we are willing to get angry about what's happening in the public sphere. We only have so much control over that. But in our daily conversations with friends and with family who may not agree with our understanding of God's will, we have the capacity and the ability to gently prod and poke and try to change minds, but we can only do so if we are equipped. So I encourage you to get clear on why you believe what you believe, and to do some more research and pick up this book if you want. It's probably in our church library, given this church. I bet it might be. If not, I'll ask for it to appear there. And celebrate this weekend. Stop by the Pride Festival. Come find Market Square's booth. We have really nice stickers to give out this year. So thank you for listening today, and I'm open to any further conversation you would like to have with me about all of these issues. Thanks. Bye.